All right, so here I have my solving equations mat, and you can see that I've started with a model here. And with my model, I'm just covering up the word model. It doesn't quite all fit in there, and that's okay. It's still gonna work. I'm gonna go ahead and draw a picture of this because we're doing concrete, pictorial, and abstract representations. I already have my concrete. It's right there. Let me draw a picture. So there's my 3 blue bars. And then I think I'm gonna write that these are positive and these are negative because I only have one color right now, and that's okay. There we go. And then that's all gonna be equal to, so let me just divide this, and this is the other side of my equation, and over here I have 3 positives. So I'm gonna say these are 3 positive x's. Let me actually just draw an x on there to make it extra clear. And then I have some negative ones and I have some positive ones. Great, so I've drawn a picture of my model. Now, before I actually start thinking about this abstractly, I'm gonna see what I can do with my model to begin solving this equation. Now remember, when we're solving an equation, what we're trying to do is find the value of our variable. These guys right here, this represents my variable, specifically one of these. If I can find the value of one of these, then I have found the value of my variable. So that's what I'm trying to do. I want to find out what just one of these is worth. So here's my negative ones. And what I want to do, I want to get everything away from this side of the equation except for one of these blue rectangles. So I'm going to start by saying, how can I get rid of the little red squares? How can I get rid of my negative ones? I can't just take away a negative from both sides, right? Because on this side, I don't have any negatives. I can't actually take any negatives away from this side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some positives here. Let me put some positives here so that I can create 0 pairs. And I'm covering stuff up and making a mess. It's okay. That's okay. Maybe it'll be even a little bit better if I scoot some of these guys over there. And some of these I'm just gonna kind of stack on there because I don't have a lot of room. That's okay. So what I did is I just added 6 positives here. So now I'm gonna have to add 6 positives on the other side of my equation as well. Let's get those in here. Oh, flip them to be consistent. Okay, so here I've made 0 pairs, right? This is a 0 pair, a positive and a negative. These are all equal to 0 because a positive 1 and a negative 1 equals 0. So I'm pulling these away. And I have accomplished my first goal. I got rid of all my little red squares. So let's just do that in our picture as well. So I'm gonna add 6 positives here. And then I'm gonna add 6 positives here. And let me just label those. And these are positive 1s. So this is my constant term. Okay, so these we've agreed form 0 pairs. Those are kind of awkward 0 pairs because I didn't draw them right next to each other. But y'all get the idea. These are forming a great big 0. Let me just draw a 0 around all of that and then a line through it. Okay, that's gone. Okay, and so what do I have left over on this side? I have 9, right? And so now I have these 9 little squares, and I want to know how much each one of these is worth, right? So let's just pretend these are cookies, and these are people. How many does each one get? Each one gets 3. So one of these rectangles is equal to 3 of these little squares. So now I know the value of my variable. And you could see that here. I have 3 x's, and each x is gonna get 3. So each x is equal to 3. But let's talk about how we can do this abstractly. And I'm gonna write sideways just because this whole video has been sideways. So a refresher, if we were to write an equation for this, we started out with 3 x's. We had 3 of these rectangles, right? And then we had 6 negatives. So let me write a -6. And that was equal to positive 3. Now, do you remember how we got rid of those -6's? We added 6 positives, and we had to do it to both sides of our equation. So here we have 3x. I could write plus 0, but I'm not going to. But I could, right? Because really, this is equal to 0. And then, so 3 plus 6 on the other side of the equation was equal to 9. Then we said, well, okay, remember I said that we were pretending there were 3 people and 9 cookies, and we asked how many would each one get? We divided, right? So the inverse of multiplication is division. So we're dividing both sides by 3 in order to get that x on its own. So 3 divided by 3 is really 1x, right? I could draw a 1 through that because it's equal to 1. So 1x is equal to 9 divided by 3. 1x is equal to 3. So we have a concrete representation, a pictorial representation, and an abstract equation, and the 3 different ways of showing that the value of x is equal to 3.